Welcome to Chapter 3 of the Let's Play for Missing Since January, or In Memoriam. We left off last time on the boss puzzle, which I asked people to come up with what names went to what numbers, using the internet as your guide. And we got the answer pretty quickly. Lord Guggs over on the forums here found the answer on the website called the Volker Institute. And even went the extra mile of backing the site up in case anything happened to it. And the answer's clear as day right there. There's the picture, there's the outlines of everyone with the numbers associated. So that makes this one pretty easy. So we'll just go in here and fill in the names. So thank you, Lord Guggs, for coming up with that for us. And it would probably help if I actually was putting them on the right numbers here. Yeah. See, it's Whiteman that goes there. Reinhardt really wants to go on 6. We'll just put him on 4 over here. And that should do it. Well done, everyone. They'll only get harder from here.
By analyzing the film, I managed to determine that the crime had been committed on a small Greek island, not too far away from... I tracked down Karen Gidgman on the internet, the daughter of the amateur cameraman. The film came as a huge shock to her. 30 years after the incident, this camera film was the only material evidence that could explain the disappearance of her father. Karen decided to come along with me and give me a hand with my investigation.
So that's 2 down now for the AQUA section. And we have, I think, 4 left? Yes, 4 left. Next one we're going to do here is Soapphi. Soapphi, maybe? And you'll notice here, over this image of Karen, there's coordinate numbers on the lower right. And if I scroll over the image, you can see the numbers vaguely in the outlines. It says 19/75, which is the year the Super 8 footage came from. So I'll just move the crosshairs here until we hit 1975. So we can move on into this puzzle. I'm not sure if trust is something that comes easily to the Phoenix, but hopefully Karen's still okay. We're still on the search. We're still hunting for both her and Jack. So for here, I just have to move these plates out of the way. And click the little belly button. So the puzzle here is to find the girl's first name. Now normally I would toss internet puzzles to you guys, but this one is really easy. Basically all you have to do is do a Google search for Karen Gidgman. And it's the first result that comes up is her personal website. She dedicated it to her father, who disappeared in Greece in 1975. So we just look in a little portrait gallery here, and there's the image. Sanne. S-A-N-N-E. Now, the trick to this puzzle is that, if I hover over here,
T, X,
each one of these circles corresponds to a letter of the alphabet.
L,
And
P,
I have to pick out which letters match up. And it's different every time you play and every time you load up the screen, so
I, C, Q, R,
it's a little bit of trial and error here trying to find which letter goes where. There's S.
U,
And I probably should have remembered where A was, so I wouldn't have to hunt all around here for it.
M, E, N, N, B,
And you have to
L,
listen really closely because
G,
M
F,
and N
I,
sound
C,
very similar.
Q, R, H,
And to get one letter, you have to go back and do the whole set over again.
N,
And where did E
O,
go?
S, D, V, Z, W, A, H, R, Q, C, I, F, G, N, B, L,
Now I'm going to go through all of these over again.
M, E.
There it is, E. And that's another one down.
Whilst searching through the archives of the local paper, the heading of an article published in the summer of 1975 caught our attention. Unexplained disappearances on... At the time, the event had caused a bit of a stir, as one of the missing people was a world-famous German scientist called Volker. The coincidence was disconcerting. The film was probably proof that Volker, an eminent specialist in ancient languages, had been murdered. The article also mentioned one of the scientist's friends living on... After several days, we eventually tracked him down. He was still living on the island, just a stone's throw from the monastery, where he agreed to meet us. Our witness had been in contact with Volker just a few days before he disappeared. He reckoned that the scientist had been on the verge of publishing a text that was going to cause quite a sensation. Before he left, he gave me a name. Vasily, the detective who'd been in charge of the investigation into the scientist's disappearance.
So the Phoenix seems to really be playing at this trust angle right now with Soapphi, and how he was saying we need to trust him, and he's saying I keep my promises. We'll see if that holds up. So we got 3 more in this stage. Next up is Syros. Images, maybe of the police officer? Alright, now this puzzle here is the first one of a set that this game has that mimic arcade games from the past. This one in particular is based off a 1980 game by Taito called Crazy Balloon, if you've ever played it. The objective behind this one is to move the little yellow figure from safe zone to safe zone until you reach the end, and you can do it by dragging it along the string. And if I pull the string too hard, it'll break off and kind of float free, and I have to go rescue it. Otherwise, it'll get swept up in the tide. If I touch any of the sides, it resets to the previous safe zone. If I touch any of the yellow stars, it resets to the previous safe zone. If I'm moving, when the timer runs out there, then a current comes past and usually sweeps me into a wall and bounces me back to the last safe zone. If you get knocked back more than 3 times in a row, then it knocks you all the way back to the start of the level. And to finish this puzzle, you have to go through 4 levels, each one unveiling a few letters and the password to solve it. Now this might take a while. I've done this before, but it can still take some time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward through this section and meet you back on the other side, because otherwise this could be a half hour of me playing this, and there's more interesting things to look at. And through the magic of editing, we're done. So at this point, it fills in a name for us, which the Phoenix says to go ahead and enter it because it's the password for this level. So I'll just type it in here. If I can spell it right. Let's see, V-A-S-S, there we go, 2 S's. And Syros is finally solved. Well, that kind of goes against the Phoenix's claims of that we should trust him. We get no video out of that one. So let's see, there's 2 left. I'm going to do Ustichos next. This one's pretty straightforward. You'll see there's a blacked out thing at the bottom of the screen, and if I click this little blob here, these little, I don't know, tadpole looking sperm things jump out and start eating away at it. When they're done, they come back and generate more little blob things. So what you do is you just keep clicking on them to generate more and more. And eventually it'll generate enough that it'll be eating away at that black area down there that we can continue with this puzzle. Alright, that should be about enough. So I can click in. Of course, we're not sure who he is in this case. I presume it's probably Vasily, since that seems to be the running theme in the last 2. Could be Volker, though. Now, this part of the puzzle is pretty similar to the last stage. And you've got to generate the little tadpole sperm the same way. And that sound effect you heard is these parasites swoop in. If you don't click on them, they eat your little tadpoles. So you both have to create and defend them. And the little counter at the bottom right there is counting down like how many pixels they still have to eat at to uncover the answer. But we almost got it here. We're almost done. Almost. That should do it. It looks like the answer is Selingen. That's what's circled on the newspaper. So I'll just enter it here. And that's another one down.
Vasily initially refused to speak to us, but our dogged determination finally paid off, and he agreed to meet us 2 days later.
Coffee. What about you?
We decided to go to the actual scene of the crime. After a few hours by boat and then on foot, we found the exact place where Volker, and obviously Karen's father, had been killed. The emotional stress proved too much for Karen. She burst into tears.
Okay, so we're almost done with this stage of AQUA. Looks like we have one more, so let's get that one started. I don't know if we'll be able to finish it in this chapter, but we'll at least get it started. In this part here, you have to click the little blue circle, which is very tricky. You have to wait until the words kind of slow down before it allows you to do it. See, if I try to click it now, then it won't work. I have to wait till it slows down, and then the bell gongs, and we're able to move on to the next word. Now, I'm not sure how this will look in the final capture, but the words are very hard to read, even playing it live. So maybe some of you can come up with what these words are and what they mean, if they have a meaning. Because I'm not going to be much help on this one. Alright, so we learned from the last one that this is the place where he died. I'm presuming it's Volker at this point, because that's who we saw get shot in the video from 1975. Now this puzzle is a bit tricky. What you gotta do is you gotta assemble 3 pictures. It's kind of like a little jigsaw puzzle. They stick together when you're close enough. You can kind of gauge it off that. And I might have some pieces disappear. So, technical difficulty there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reset this section by exiting out, going back in. Get a different clue from the Phoenix this time, though. And we know that this is an internet puzzle. Or that the solution, at least, is on the internet. So as I put this together, you'll notice that there's 5 Greek letters at the bottom. If I were to click on them, they would cycle through the Greek alphabet. And that's how we're going to ultimately enter the password on this one. So that should give you a clue on what exactly we're going to be looking for here. So I got 1 photo assembled, just need to do the other 2. There we go. It's almost there. That's 2. And here's number 3. So, notice the photos are blank. So if you drop them in this little pan here, it develops them. There's 1. It's like a little windmill with some trucks parked next to it. There's 2, maybe some sort of ruins of a castle or a fort. And there's 3, it looks like a fountain in a town square to me. Alright, so that's all this particular screen gives us in terms of hints, but there is one more, which, if you'll remember, we had a film analyzer for the Super 8 video. And if you fast forward through it, because you remember this was from the same place where Volker was shot. You notice there was a sign here. So I'll pull the old CSI Enhance and zoom in on this text here. And that's going to give us our final clue for this puzzle. So I'm not sure if that's like 3 different translations or what. That's our clues for this one. So we're going to leave it here. We got the 3 pictures. We got the 3 words from the video. And I'm hoping someone out there can help me solve this puzzle. I'll post screenshots of the pictures and the image from the video, the enhanced image. Let's see if we can come up with a solution for this one. I need the 5 Greek letters. Got no new emails this chapter. Oh well. But we'll see what we come up with. See you next time, guys, and good luck.